As a young activist, do you think that today's democracy is working for young people in your country? And what would you like to change?
Georgia is not exception from the rest of the democratic world, which have certain problems stemming from the global issues affecting young generation and its well-being. In Georgia, there are three main challenges the youth are generally facing: quality of education, high unemployment rate, and lack of effective cooperation between institutions, ensuring implementation of youth policy and its priorities. To answer these challenges, Georgia has supported youth participation through different mechanisms. There are an active youth advisory council, local councils, and national council of youth organizations aimed to engage youth in the decision-making process and deepen collaboration between governmental and non-governmental sectors in the field of youth. In the framework of structural dialogue, the Youth Agency organizes regional and national youth forums. The latest regional forums were implemented to consolidate the recommendations regarding the National Youth Strategy 2025. The country has a clear strategy determining youth policy development in Georgia for the next 10 years, and the parliament is the body who observes the implementation of youth-related policies. To be more specific, I'm the example who successfully managed to coordinate with main constitutional body, Parliament of Georgia, on constitutional amendments where I was advocating the idea of inserting the provisions related to youth in the constitution. Nowadays, Georgia is working on harmonization of its legal system to meet standards required by the EU and the framework of pending status of EU candidacy. For that, the work is ongoing to effectively implement in practice all the strategies and laws in different sectors, which among others reflect youth needs. Going back to the question you asked in the beginning of our conversation, the main source of youth disappointment with the functioning of democracy in Georgia remains economic situation in country, which is much difficult to resolve. Georgian youth are not facing the ordinary problems that can be viewed separately from the bigger picture and without regional context. In fact, Russian occupation of 20% of Georgian territories pose physical and psychological hurdle to young people. The real security threats and limitations on economic growth due to occupation cuts off a lot of opportunities for youth to live in a better place and thrive as those living in other parts of Europe. At that point, my message to European democracies is to cooperate in ending aggression towards peaceful states in European continent. Of course, special reference is made to the situation of Ukraine and Georgia particularly. European countries must look at security emergencies in our continent not as an isolated problem of Eastern European democracies that does not have an impact on the rest of the young generation in the continent. We need to be united to help the region survive the biggest security threat of the century without sacrificing Ukrainian and Georgian youth in that process. Thank you for interesting question, and thanks to my fellow youthletes for their interesting insights.
Thank you very much, Tinatin.